was just going to get up and move this altar a little bit. No, I was going to get up and just tell a quick, brief story. Actually, experience that I had this afternoon. I went to had a little bit of time, so I ran to the mall to get a haircut real quick. And the girl was cutting my hair, and she got done, so she took me over to the shampoo, to wash my dirty hair. And there was a couple other of the girls there shampooing some other people, and they were just running down this pastor. And I just was just listening quietly and intently. And it was I'm not going to name the name. It was a pastor. He was on TV, and I know you went and was on his platform. And some time ago, the night that you got the panic attack, but anyways, they were just running this man down and running him down, and it was going on and on and on. And finally, it started to get under my skin a little bit. I wasn't getting angry, but it was just kind of bothering me. So I kind of just rose up and I stopped the girl from doing what she was doing to me. And I said, excuse me. I said, I don't mean to be offensive or anything, but not that I condone sin or in anybody's life. And they kept going on about how a preacher should have different standards, and that I can't believe it was a preacher that did this, and that this preacher did that, and he's still preaching, and this and that. And I asked her, and I said, are there two Bibles? And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, are there two standards? Did Jesus give two standards? She said, no. And I said, and please, again, I'm not trying to be offensive. I said, but how many souls have you led to the Lord? And she got quiet. And I said, I don't know this man personally, and I don't condone, mistakes that people make. But I also don't believe that we should take a spirit to where if somebody falls and makes one mistake, that we're going to condemn them to hell forever because of this one mistake that they made. And I was telling this lady that I said, it's very easy to get caught up in finding fault in someone else. And I said, and I brought up the point that she said that he was still preaching. And I said, and while you're standing here tearing him down, I said, has he led another soul to the Lord while you were tearing him down? And she started to think, and I could see that her wheels were starting to turn inside her mind. And I said, it's very easy to look for fault, and to try to find fault, and to try to point the finger at each other, and try to judge each other. And I said, as long as we do that, what we're going to find is fault. Amen. And if we look for sin, and we try to see where the sin is, and who's doing the latest thing, and who's got the latest problem or the gossip, then what we're going to find is sin. Yes. And what we're going to find is gossip. And what we're going to find is fault. Yes. But if I look at my brother and I try to show mercy, and I try to give grace, and I try to give forgiveness, then when I'm in my time of need, maybe, maybe, I can find grace. And I'll be able to find some mercy. And I'll be able to find some help. Because I can sit back and find fault, and find fault, and find fault, and that's all I'm ever going to find. But if I look up higher, and I seek something more, and I try to find Christ in you, and I hope that you will see Christ in me, and that when I look for Christ, I will find Him wherever I go, whether I'm in the store, or I'm getting my hair cut. I hope that I can find Christ, and that you will see Him in me, because I surely want to see Him in you. I want to have an eye to see, and an ear to hear, not the sin that's in your life, because the Bible said we've all sinned and come short of the glory of God. I've made mistakes, and you've made mistakes, but I'm pressing on. Are you? Are you dwelling in the past? Are you dwelling on what I've done? Are you dwelling on what you've done? Or what your brother did to you? And while you're doing that, are they moving on and leaving you behind? It's easy to get caught up in the sin. That's exactly where the devil wants you. That's exactly where the flesh will trap you. We'll dwell on the things that are of the world. But the world is nothing but enmity against God. It's separation from heaven. You'll never get into the heaven. You'll never go through the gates. You'll never walk the straight and narrow path looking for fault. Because if you look for fault, I promise you, you will find fault. If you look for fault in my life, I promise you, you're going to find fault. But you can look for something else too. I'm telling you right now tonight, if you look for Christ in my life, you will find it. You will find it in places you didn't think you would see it. And if I know, I've been with you all my life. I've been in this church all my life, and I know each and every one of you. If I look for Christ in you, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I will find Christ in you too. God bless every one of you.